Hello, this is Joey from Two Blokes from Blighty, and before we get into the episode, we're going to hear from our good friend Chatsunami. Take it away, Satsu.
Take it away.
Welcome to Chatsunami, a variety podcast that discusses topics from gaming and films to anime and general interests.
Previously on Chatsunami, we've analysed what makes a good horror game, conducted a retrospective on Pierce Brosnan's run as James Bond, and listened to us take deep dives into both the Sonic and Halo franchises.
Also, if you're an anime fan, then don't forget to check us out on our sub-series, Chatsunani, where we dive into the world of anime. So far, we've reviewed things like Death Note, Princess Mononoke, and the hit Beyblade series.
If that sounds like your cup of tea, then you can check us out on Spotify, iTunes, and all good podcast apps.
As always, stay safe.
Stay awesome, and most importantly,
stay hydrated.
Can I just say how much of a massive fan I am of the name Chatsunani?
It's very good.
That's brilliant. Great work, lads.
Satsu's a lovely bloke as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tim, let's get into the episode.
Let's get in with it. The best time to wear a striped sweater is all the time. One with the collar, turtleneck. That's the kind. This is Tim from Two Blokes from Blighty. I'm joined by my co-host, Joey Fitz.
What was that?
It's from SpongeBob. The best time to wear a striped sweater.
Can you please
all
use the lyrics
time.
that I told you should use?
Well, you wanted me to use a Hollywood and Dead set of lyrics, which was... but
I
you
wanted to
swap
change the
Charlie
next.
Scene.
Can you please just do it?
Yeah, so it's everywhere I go, bitches always know that Timmy Fitz has got a weenie that he loves to show, bitch. That's
That's so much funnier.
What song is that from Hollywood and Dead?
I don't know, but it came into my head because I was watching a TikTok and it was like immediate red flag. We've gone to karaoke and she chose this and it was that song.
It's Hollywood and Dead. I saw them live and I saw them before Charlie Scene left the band. He is an arsehole.
Well, I mean, he starts that song with "Everywhere I go, bitches always know Charlie Scene has got a weenie that he loves to show." Are you surprised he's an arsehole?
No, but I saw them with Escape the Fate when they were on tour and they came to Birmingham. And
have you ever felt so cool as saying a sentence like, I saw Hollywood and Dead with Escape the Fate?
I've never felt cooler.
So you're going to stop at, I've never felt cool?
I've never felt.
I've never.
Never. And if you remember, Joe, do you remember I had that black and white Enjoy skateboard because I was skating at the time?
I do.
And I rode that from where I was going to college to this gig. And a friend of mine...
Wasn't the gig in Birmingham?
Yeah, sorry, I should be clear. I got the bus to...
Oh my God, I was going to say, your college to the town centre was probably about 11 miles.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that bad.
Did you Back to the Future it and hold on to a car?
Yeah, I skipped the entire way. So I had a friend of mine who I went to school and college with who managed to get backstage passes. And I'm stood there with my board and Hollywood and Dead walked past and I was like, oh, that's cool. And Charlie Scene just grabs my board and goes, I'm signing this. And I was like, okay, well, I guess whatever. And then the rest of the band got in on it. But then we saw, my friend was there more for Escape the Fate more than Hollywood and Dead. And we were hanging around waiting for Escape the Fate. And Charlie Scene came back and was like, what do you want? I've signed your shit. Get out.
What a treat.
What a treat.
Is that your best interaction with the band? I've
served drinks to Damon Albarn.
Have I told you my anti-flag story?
I think you have, but I don't think you have on the podcast.
Okay, so I went to a gig that was Alexis on Fire and Anti-Flag headlining the Eastpak tour. I don't like Anti-Flag, but I'd seen them earlier that summer at Reading Festival. And my friend that I was going with was a big Alexis on Fire fan, but never heard Anti-Flag. And I thought, we were walking, and he said, oh, what are Anti-Flag like? And as he said this, these three really lanky, greasy guys were walking past, and they had big mohawks. And you know when you see someone do like a dress up of a punk?
So kind of like your Guitar Hero models.
Yeah, like a Guitar Hero model or like a Halloween costume of a punk. Yeah. That's what they look like. And I walked past and quietly, I didn't say it so they heard, I went, see these three typical anti-flag fans. And we walked, and we got to the gig quite early, and we were close to the front, and Anti-Flag came on, and lo and behold, the three men that had walked past us that were caricatures of Anti-Flag actually were Anti-Flag.
They were Anti-Flag.
Tim, we've gone quite a while without getting into your pub quiz question, so pub quiz question of the week time.
Pub quiz question of the week. Not a jingle, that's a sound effect at best.
What we have there is a fucking jingle, Tim.
Pub quiz question of the week. Joey, which English football club holds the record for the longest unbeaten run in top flight league matches? I don't know what that means. And how many games did it last?
Basically. Was it Arsenal with 46?
You're right with the team, not quite right with the number.
40?
No, it's higher.
Oh, 50?
Less.
45?
More.
46?
More. Well, you already said
47?
More.
48?
More.
Is it 49?
It is 49. Good thing I came with a backup question. In the original Star Wars trilogy, what character is the only non-Jedi to use a lightsaber, and in what scene?
Jar Jar Binks.
This is the original trilogy, not the prequels.
Is it one of the Ewoks?
Okay, it's not Warwick Davis.
Fighting Darth Vader in a big room.
The Ewok got fucking obliterated.
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Okay. Do you like the original Star Wars films, right?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a fan of Star Wars, but I would say that I have seen them and they were okay.
I love the original trilogy. Absolutely love them. I would say, I think everyone's got a film or a series or something that if someone like called them up and was like, hey, we're watching this and it's like 3 a.m, they'd be like, yeah, I'm down. Original Star Wars is probably that for me.
Okay, cool. Very nice. Well, we'll get back to that at the end of the episode. I'm sure we'll find out exactly what that is.
Absolutely.
So, Tim.
Yeah.
When does this episode go out?
There's no fun way to skirt this.
Hold on. No. I wonder. Can we fly to a conclusion here, or can we fly to a conclusion here, or
you're really building to something, aren't you?
Well, the building might have fallen down by the time I get there.
It's out on September 11th.
We decided to change the Wednesday jingle.
I swear to God, if it's just a jet and an explosion, I'm not going to be happy.
It's not. You're not going to be happy anyway because it's quite a long one. So enjoy this. You know, I've not actually listened to it.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. 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 My dudes.
ended.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that 2 minutes of your life, listener. Did you, Tim?
Do you know, it was better than I expected. A lot more of a banger.
Well, the last 20 seconds are. The first minute and 40 is really, really poor.
Yeah.
Tim, okay, so we got a couple of days.
Right, okay.
Patriotic Day and National Day of Service and Remembrance.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense.
National Make Your Bed Day.
It makes a lot less sense.
And Hot Cross Bun Day.
Even less sense. I'm going to go with Make Your Bed Day.
Okay. Can I have a wild guess how people are going to celebrate?
Show us a before and after.
Commit.
No, don't do that.
How much
Can I
of this are you
express
cutting
enough?
out?
I mean, I'm going to cut that out.
Can you just bleep it?
Yeah, I'll put
Oh,
a
yeah,
beep
that
in there and just let you know that we're not condoning that one.
Yeah, but leave all this in so people don't know the horrific
Yeah, no, of
thing
course.
that you said.
It's the mystery. But
You didn't pick that up, did you?
no,
I said the horrific thing that you said.
no. But yeah, go out, take a photo of your bed, someone's bed, both before and after you've made it. Thank you.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
It's not very respectful to the people who died in 9/11, Tim. I'm going to go straight into a fun section, Tim.
What do you got?
Well, let's see.
Oh. That's pretty funny, to be fair. That joke was weak. I misread that as that's the joke of the week.
So this is our joke of the week section where Tim and I will tell each other hilarious quips, and the joke of the idea of the joke of the fucking hell, the idea of the joke of the week section is to make the other person laugh. When that other person laughs, the section's over, and that joke is declared our joke of the week.
Yeah, join in, audience. Let us know where, if anywhere, you laughed.
I have said that every week for probably 2 years.
Yep.
And I still get it wrong.
Still get
every
it wrong.
time. Tim, I have 7 jokes. How many have you got?
7 as well.
Sweet. Do you want to start? Or do you want me to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
What's green and eats balls?
That doesn't count as a laugh. That was an unexpected laugh in the eats balls words.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's green and eats balls.
Syphilis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it.
We all have experience of that. Tim, life is about balance. 50% namaste and 50% fuck off.
That sounds like something David Brent would have in his office.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. When you're not getting along with someone, try walking a mile in their shoes. That way you'll be a mile from them and you'll have their shoes.
Smart.
Smart. Good life advice.
Jokes and life lessons. I was playing chess with my friend. He looked me in the eyes and said, "Let's make this interesting." So we stopped playing chess.
Oh, I like chess.
I like chess too, but
I'm not very good at it, but I like it.
The low-hanging fruit is sometimes the tastiest.
Sometimes. Why can't frogs sing?
Don't know why.
They've damaged their croacal cords.
Nice. That's a Tim joke, if
Yeah.
ever I've heard one. I really like that. I saw 6 men kicking and punching my mother-in-law. My neighbour said, "Are you not going to help?" And I said, "No, 6 should be enough."
They've got this covered.
They've got it sorted.
Yeah. What do you call 4 Mexican peoples in quicksand?
A rescue service because they're in quicksand, you racist.
It's Cuatro Cinco.
So you made a racist joke.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I got my COVID test today.
Mm-hmm.
It says 50. What does that mean? Also, my IQ test came back positive.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad you got the results.
Good.
How did Kim Kardashian tell her child that her and Kanye were divorcing?
Don't know how.
North, my relationship with West has gone south.
Where's east?
It's at least the last direction left.
It's like the West.
The West.
Is Pain okay?
Yeah, no, she's bringing a laptop in.
I just heard a clunk.
Yeah, that's the door.
Okay, Tim, 2 nuns are riding their bicycles through the back streets of Rome. One nun looks at the other and says, "You know, I've never come this way before. The other nun replies, "It must be the cobblestones."
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't know why it had to be nuns, to be honest.
Classic bike riding joke.
Hmm.
Yep. A turd and an apple are floating side by side in a river, and someone walks past and picks up the apple. And the turd says, "Well, I guess I'll see you later then." No. ChatGPT came up with that one. Wasn't very good.
No. I hate double standards. Burn a body in a crematorium and you being a respectful friend. Do it at home and you're destroying evidence.
Brilliant. Nearly got me. My last joke. What do a baby and a hand grenade have in common?
I don't know.
People scream when you throw them.
I was ready for that to be quite funny.
No.
My last one isn't that funny. I don't think it's going to be a joke of the week.
Oh.
Ever since the pandemic started, my wife just sits there and looks sadly out the window. I should probably let her in sometime. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it. That's pretty funny, to be fair. That joke was weak. I misread that as that's the joke of the week.
I was throwing hands while
As was I.
the jiggle was on. I'm not repeating it. It was a rubbish joke of the week, and I'm disappointed in you for laughing.
I thought it was a good little misdirect. I didn't know where it was going.
There you go. Okay. Well, there you go. That's jokes. I am really looking forward to a returning section this week. However, we've had a couple of things on our running order for a few weeks now. I'd like you to talk to me about Disney.
Right. Yep. Okay. So this is an article that Payne sent to me.
Did you say this should go on Two Blokes?
No, we were just talking about it, and I was just like, "Can you send me that? I want to talk about it on Two Blokes."
Oh, okay.
Essentially, the story's a couple of weeks old now, but a doctor ended up dying at Disney Springs restaurant after they had an allergic reaction after being assured that their meal was allergen-free. I don't know what the specific allergen was, but it was obviously lethal enough to kill them. The widower then tried to sue, but Disney are trying to dismiss the lawsuit, arguing that he agreed to arbitrate all disputes when he signed up for a Disney Plus free trial several years before.
Jesus Christ.
That is some... I know Disney's lawyers are kind of famous for being pretty slimy and pretty thorough in their work, shall we say, but that is something else.
That reminds me of the episode of South Park where they agree to be a human centipede by doing Apple's terms and conditions.
No, you didn't read the terms and conditions, and he turns him into a human centipede.
Yeah, but the whole point of the episode is teaching him to read the terms and conditions. It's like, you can get out now if you sign these terms and conditions. And they sign it, and he goes, "No, you didn't read it." Yeah, that's pretty horrific.
That's awful. I think they have since backed down, from what I understand.
Disney?
Disney.
Or the poor widower?
The Disney have.
Did she go, "Oh, I'm really sorry, I was being very unreasonable"?
Sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
When I wanted to watch Marvel movies, you're right. I should have expected my partner to die.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Tim, what's the best thing you've seen on Disney Plus recently?
I don't know, Disney Plus. I use a definitely legal streaming service.
Well, now you've implicated yourself.
That's why I said definitely legal.
I've
been meaning to watch
the Bear. Watch the Bear.
It's on the list.
Watch the Bear.
It's on the list.
Stop recording and watch it right now.
We've got things to do.
We've got things to do. Like what? Do you want to talk about films?
We can talk about films if we're on the topic of Disney Plus.
Yeah, okay. Let's do a film jingle, Tim. Movies.
It's the movies section. We didn't talk about it last week because Joey didn't watch it.
Basically, yeah.
Yep. Lisa Frankenstein, 2024. Yeah. It's arguably our most recent film that we've done on the podcast.
Yep. Tim, you have 19 seconds to explain the story.
Girl's mom gets axed by an 80s psycho, and she ends up going a bit crazy and falling in love with a dead guy's statue. The statue is struck by lightning. He comes to life, and they end up going on a killing spree together because the guy's completely rotted, and yet they end up taking parts off of the dead people to build the perfect boyfriend.
19 seconds. Well done, Tim.
Look at that.
What did you think of Lisa Frankenstein?
I thought it was okay. It was fine.
I echo that sentiment. I enjoyed it because I haven't seen anything like it for a very long time.
Yeah, it was different. The way I described it, it does actually come off as a much more of like a scary thriller horror thing, but it's played as much more of a rom-com more than anything.
I also
with necromancy.
I really like that
Necromancy. Why didn't they call it that?
necronancy.
Necronancy. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
yeah, yeah. Well, necro has other connotations that maybe we don't want to go into. I actually think that this film was good. I do think that the characters have some questionable thought patterns, such as, I might go to prison for murdering people. Better go and shag someone.
Yeah.
which I enjoyed. I think that but I don't know the names of any of the actors. I think that
Catherine Newton.
Did she play Lisa?
Lisa, yes.
I thought Lisa was excellent. I thought she was really good, and I really like the portrayal of the 80s, where it's just basically now but massive hair
and drug.
I also like when they made her a killer. They just made her dress like Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah.
She's a murderer.
Quirky and from the 80s.
She's a murderer, so she must be like Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah. But no, it's been a long time since I love 80s aesthetic and music. I think it's all wonderful. And for 2024 to, if I say hark back to the 80s, like that's a unique thing to do in and of itself. But it's been a while since I've seen a film that I thought what originally was in the 80s just turned out to be 24. Because I didn't know how much.
Originally in the 80s.
Well, I had only heard of this film and I thought it was an 80s movie when I'd only heard of it. Obviously, looking into it, I know it was a 2024.
Okay, fair enough.
But from what I understood, like people like Cyndi Lauper were involved in the soundtrack. I was like, oh, this is 80s then. This is good. Obviously, it's since come to light. This is 2024. It's very modern, directed by Zelda Williams, Robin Williams' daughter. Yeah. This is her directorial debut, and I think she did an okay job.
I think she did a good job. Honestly.
I wouldn't exactly go running back, but I wouldn't turn it off again. I wouldn't turn it off.
No. I did also enjoy, so at the end of the spoiler time, not that we haven't done already, they basically kill people, and she's going to get caught, and then she goes to have sex with a guy that she really wants to have sex with, only to find out that he's already shagging her mate.
So it's her stepsister.
Stepsister, I knew that, sorry.
I actually didn't see that twist coming.
And well, the twist he didn't see coming was them chopping off his willy and sewing it onto a corpse.
Yep.
They then bang the corpse and Lisa. And then, as if to say, how has our decision making been questionable enough so far? They decide the way that she is going to off herself is to lie in the sunbed and turn it up to full heat, which apparently is a setting that literally will make it blow up.
Well, they established pretty early on that it's like a pretty shonky sunbed.
Shonky or not, I feel like a top setting should not set fire to the place.
Cook.
Let them cook.
The whole thing is they established very early on that the sunbed is very shonky, and because they try to give Lisa a tan, and she ends up just a bit like getting electrocuted. And I guess through pop culture references with Frankenstein ? That she kind of concludes that electricity will help turn the creature, as he's called, into a younger, more active version of himself. So anytime he gets like a new ear or a penis or a hand or something, they electrocute him with a sunbed.
Well, it's because he came to life through an electrical storm, which I really enjoyed, actually, because they were like, this corpse is going to come back to life. Oh, how? Electrical storm?
Yeah.
Question mark.
lightning is going to strike something that doesn't conduct lightning, and that will make a body come back.
It's good enough for Jason Voorhees. It's good enough for this.
But like, I thought it was fine. It was an okay movie. Zelda Williams did, I would say, a good job. I really enjoyed the little nod to Mork and Mindy at the end of it. When the creature is sat on the bench reading the poetry in the final scene,
yes.
the rainbow suspenders, Mork and Mindy reference, which obviously probably would have been quite nice for Zelda Williams to do. I gave it like a 6 out of 10 on IMDb.
I was going to say 6.5 blokes from Blighty.
That's a lot.
Well, it's actually more like 1 1/5 bloke from Blighty.
I mean, that's over half.
It's over half, yeah. But 6 out of 10 is 6.5 out of 10 is. So yeah, good one. Do you want the one we're going to watch next week?
Yeah, go for it.
I'll give you a choice, Tim. You can either have the one that I've actually chosen, or I can do a another random 1 to 10.
Well, you've done a random one for the last couple of times, so I'm going to go with one with an actual choice.
Okay. If you were to choose, this isn't how I'm doing it, but if you were to choose a 1 to 10, what would you choose?
6.
You would have got How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, so I'm really glad we didn't do that. We're going to watch
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Oh, now I'm torn between a film I know is fucking terrible and a film that I know is quite good. What would you rather?
Dealer's Choice.
Dealer's Choice? Oh, I've seen it once before, but I'm going to make us do it again.
We're doing Cats.
We're watching Lucy.
I don't know that film.
Yeah, well, enjoy.
I will certainly try.
I didn't.
Okay.
This film, I can tell you now, isn't good. But also, Jenny and I watched it together, and when it finished, we looked at each other and literally said out loud, "What the fuck was that?" So it's got Morgan Freeman, Scarlett Johansson. We're watching Lucy. 2014's Lucy.
Good.
There you go.
Did you have a story for I Love This Game this week?
Nope. Would you like to do history?
Yeah, let's do history. History. So, Joey, you were briefly talking to me about sport before we started. Can you remember what we were talking about specifically?
No.
You asked me about what the weirdest excuse for.
So a footballer was reported this week that a footballer wasn't able to play a game because he sneezed too hard and it made his ribs hurt.
Yeah, so it's kind of connected to not that, but like weird reasons for missing games and just a really interesting player. Joey, you have been to baseball games, yes?
Yeah, we've been to them together. We used to go and watch the Oakland A's.
We did used to go and watch the Oakland A's. I've seen the Padres a few times. I've seen the Rangers, the Astros, the Blue Jays. I like
Mighty
baseball.
Ducks, the Hoobie
that's
Watsits,
hockey.
the
Airbud, that's basketball with a dog.
MVP. I think that's basketball with a dog
That's
as
also
well.
basketball with a dog. Field of Dreams.
Why is that? Schindler's List. What?
Not quite baseball. So I want to talk about one specific player.
Okay.
And again, feel free to interrupt me anytime. Do you want to just show the audience the noise that you'll make?
Yeah, so I'll interrupt you using this.
History. Great, thank you. We're going to be talking about a player called Rube Waddle.
Okay.
Now, he was born October 13th, 1876, right?
Okay.
As George Edward Waddle.
Okay.
Right?
Cool.
He played baseball for about 13 years and was one of the greatest pitchers of all time.
Okay.
Right.
What did you say his nickname was?
Rube.
Okay, cool.
Rube. We'll get into why he's called Rube.
Okay.
So, when he was at a very young age, George, or I'll just call him Rube.
Yeah, okay.
Rube learn to pitch or throw things rather by throwing rocks at birds, right?
Okay.
And I guess someone from the Louisville Colonels scouted him and was like, he's got a really good throw. So we're going to put him on our baseball team. Now, he did not fully understand the rules of baseball when he joined the baseball team.
Okay.
And let's say someone is running between first and second base, Joey, in baseball, how are you going to take them out?
Throw it to second.
Right. You definitely wouldn't throw it at the player running between the bases, would you?
Depends if I wanted to kill them. Those balls are heavy.
I suppose. So Rube didn't have the best education and thought the objective was to throw the ball at the players running.
Okay. Nice, yeah.
Now, despite this, he is setting records for strikeouts. Now, obviously, a strikeout in baseball is you throw the ball past the batter if it's within kind of batting range, if you like, to the judgment of the umpire. The umpire. If it's to the judgment of the umpire, that is within the bat's range, it's a strike, and 3 strikes and they're out. Now, to give you an idea, across this guy's 13-year career, he had 2,316 strikeouts.
That's a lot of strikeouts.
That is a huge amount of strikeouts. So he is setting numbers pretty much from the get-go.
Okay.
Now, the problem with Rube was he was very, very, very easily distracted.
I like Rube.
Well, I like Rube too.
Will I like Rube by the end of this story?
Yes, he is largely an innocent person, right?
I don't like the use of the word largely there.
So he would often chase fire engines that went by the stadium.
Okay, cool.
He would be distracted by puppies that fans had brought to the stadium. And he would stop everything he was doing to go over and play with the puppy.
Oh, history.
Did they bring this puppy specifically to distract him?
I don't think so. I think because we're talking like turn of the century baseball, formal stadiums, if you like, weren't really much of a thing.
Okay.
More just like local teams and fields and what have you.
Okay.
He would often get distracted by shiny objects, which his teammates reported would put him into a trance. And at one time, he left in the middle of a game to go fishing. He would often turn up to games minutes before they started in his street clothes.
Okay.
And during the off seasons, no one knew where he went until one year a fan of the Louisville Colonels found him wrestling alligators at a circus.
Rube's my hero.
So he's gone from the Louisville Colonels to the Pittsburgh Pirates to the Chicago Orphans, and now at this point he's playing for the Philadelphia Athletics.
Okay.
And this is between the years of 1902 and 1907. He's at the Philadelphia Athletics, and in 1903 he has the single best year of his career. So in 1903 alone, he struck out 302 individual players,
Wow.
which was like 112 more than the person who was next on the list. I've got a player called Bill Donovan. He saved a woman from drowning.
What, during a game?
No, just this is just during the year.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, history.
Did he save a woman from drowning during the game?
No, this is just during the year.
Okay.
So, saved a woman from drowning. He started tending a bar when he got drunk one night at a bar and insisted he understood how the taps worked.
I like him.
He began sleeping in the local firehouse for months on end.
Just because he could.
He likes fire trucks. He chases them. So who better to have to watch it? He shot his friend in the hand. Right.
A bit more sinister.
He got bitten by a lion.
At a circus, I assume.
I would assume at the circus. He got into acting, but because of his poor education, he couldn't memorize any of his lines. So the play groups he was in allowed him to improvise every single line he had. And the plays that he was in, I guess it's a common theme between them. The plays he was in were often critically acclaimed because of one scene in them where Waddrell would lift an actor playing the villain and throw them across the stage with ease.
Sounds like Andre the Giant.
I think he is a bit, but a lot less educated.
Mm.
He also used this notoriety to try and leverage his contracts in his baseball career to be like, well, I could throw a man this far. What do you think I could do with a ball?
Sounds like it's worth an extra year on the contract to me.
He then also, at a party in this same year, dived into freezing water to save someone that he heard fall into a lake, and after he heard screaming. So without thinking, dove straight into a lake. What he recovered was a log. And the person who was screaming was just on a boat nearby.
I really like Rube.
I like Rube too. He was called Rube because apparently that was a common nickname for hillbillies and rednecks at the time.
And he thought, how do I identify?
So 1905, so he's still with the Pittsburgh team, the Pittsburgh Athletic, or Philadelphia Athletics rather. He is having another award-winning year. He is doing incredible. And he's sharing a room with a teammate instead of sleeping at the local firehouse.
Yeah, okay.
And eventually, somewhere around March of 1905, so 3 months into the year, the teammate refused to play on the team anymore with Rube until a clause was drawn up in his contract that forbade him from eating crackers in bed.
Oh my God.
So, in this same year,
I would die for Rube.
He's a gem. We love him. In this same year, Rube would end up saving the lives of a bunch of people in a department store by picking up a burning oil stone that had overturned and caught fire.
Why is he surrounded by so many people that are close to dying?
I don't know, but like he carried this on fire oil stove out of the building before it could start a real fire. So he's just got like Hulk strength too.
Yeah. Okay.
Over his entire life, it's estimated that he saved the lives of about 13 people. So quite a lot.
Okay.
In 1908, so at this point, he's moved on from the Philadelphia Athletics, and he's now with the St. Louis Browns. There's actually a story about his transition to the Browns coming up.
Okay.
In 1908, he married his third wife, but the second wife tried to sue him on bigamy charges, stating that she didn't recognize the divorce, but that was later dismissed.
Okay.
Now, alcohol had always been a big component of Rube's life.
Mm-hmm.
But because of his erratic behavior, his teammates were bringing alcohol and fishing poles to games to try and get him to leave early so he could just go fishing.
He sounds like a guy who knows what he likes.
Now, Waddrell's behavior throughout 1908 was getting increasingly more erratic.
Okay.
And there was one particular incident, and this is why he moved to the St. Louis Browns. At this point, he's still with Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
He got into a fist fight on a country train with a teammate because he was making fun of the teammate's straw hat. Now, there were enough complaints at this point for Philadelphia and St. Louis to be like, right, we're transferring him. Now, when he was at the Browns, Waddrell largely stayed out of trouble, didn't really drink or get into any sorts of shenanigans, but he would be assigned as the team hunter, right?
Right.
Now, the hunter for the team, in this case, was what he did was in the winters of 1908 and 1909, he would just go out in the winter and hunt for food for the execs at the team. Like
what?
Squirrel, deer, whatever.
What?
Yeah. They just gave him a rifle and were like, go and get us food.
He sounds like the kind of guy that you would want to give a rifle to.
Well, I just feel like this is an alternative universe Forrest Gump. So,
yeah.
Now, he ended up doing some training, I guess, when he was on loan to the Minneapolis Millers in 1911. and he ended up saving the entire city of Hickman, Kentucky, from a devastating flood when he agreed to place sandbags while standing in shoulder-high freezing water for a flood that was coming towards the town after a nearby dam broke.
Sounds like he saved more than 13 people.
Well, I don't know if the 13 people, this is what I've read off the Wikipedia article. I don't know if the 13 people are like 13 individual cases or what. And I don't know how big Hickman, Kentucky was at this point. Now, unfortunately, he ended up getting pneumonia from this, and he never fully recovered. And the coach of the Millers was like, I'm concerned about your health, and sent him to a tuberculosis sanitarium in, where was it?
That's the same as pneumonia.
That is the same as pneumonia, and famously associated with vampires from a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, true.
But he was sent over to a tuberculosis sanitarium in Texas, where he unfortunately died 3 years later in this sanitarium. But one of his old teammates from his time over in Philadelphia, the point where he was the most erratic in his life, attended the funeral and said at the eulogy that Rube did not go into situations expecting to come out for the best. He went in there expecting to have a good time, and I think he fucking did.
Sounds like he absolutely did.
Yeah,
I would have interrupted a lot more, but I was really captivated by the story of Rube.
I like Rube. I want to see a movie of him.
Yeah, I agree. That'd be really good.
Fuck Hugh Glass and The Revenant. Let's see Rube.
Let's see Rube. Who would you have play Rube?
John
Malkovich.
John Malkovich is a shout. If I can get like Tom Hanks at the point that he was playing Forrest Gump to do it, I feel like that'd be a call.
It's a bit easy.
That is a bit easy, but this guy's basically Forrest Gump.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that, Tim. That was really
that's weird history for the week.
Yeah, Tim, we've got 2 things left.
Yeah.
We've got Sean Bean is due to visit.
Oh yeah. Do we know where he is?
That? And then we'll talk about Newcastle and then get out of here?
Yeah, we'll briefly touch on Newcastle. Do we know where Sean Bean is?
I believe he's just pulling up.
Oh, okay. Hang on. So
didn't come through.
Bang, bang, bang.
Oh, your door sounds a lot like your voice, Tim. I'll go and let him in.
I put in accent hinges.
Oh, I can't find the blue. Sorry, hold on.
Move, you bastards! Move, you lazy bastards!
There's a French bastard in these mountains called Loop. Bastard.
I hope you bastard.
Hello, Sean. How you doing?
I'm all right. Are those acorns on your table?
Yeah.
Okay.
They
Can
were
I have
left
one?
here. Sure, you can, Sean.
Do you like my trench coat?
It's moving again.
No, it's not.
It is. I'm looking at
Have
it.
you got a question for me?
I do have a question. This one was sent in by ChatGPT.
Oh, big fan, ChatGPT. I bet he likes my trench coat and these acorns.
Probably does. I don't know where the acorn's gone. I didn't see you put it in a pocket though.
I put it between the buttons of my trench coat, and just don't ask any questions you don't want the answers to.
Can I see the acorn?
No.
All right,
bastard.
All right. Moving on then. If Boromir had successfully taken the One Ring, what would his first order of business be as the new ruler of Middle Earth?
I think that he would put a squirrel house in every tree in Middle Earth for no reason.
Right, that's a lot of trees, Sean.
Yeah, but I'm the ruler. I mean, Boromir is the ruler of bastard Middle Earth.
Does Boromir share this fixation with squirrels as you do?
Stop asking questions, you bastard.
All right, well, you came on here to be asked questions, so... okay.
Right, fuck off, I'm leaving.
All right, see you next week.
See you later, bastard.
Bye.
Hold on, I got to play the jingle again.
Move, you bastard! Move, you lazy bastards!
There's a French bastard in these mountains called Loop.
Bastard.
Off he goes.
Off
It's
into
weird.
the night and wait, up a tree outside. He's in a tree outside, Tim.
He was weird this week.
I'm really starting to worry about Sean Bean.
Very standoffish when asked about the acorn.
Yeah, he's still obsessed with that bloody trench coat.
I know.
Very
I don't know what he's
standoffish.
doing with it. Anyway, I guess the last thing on the running order here is my little trip to Newcastle this week. Yeah, we went up to Newcastle. I did my theory test up there, and I passed my theory test for driving. I got a 50 out of 50 on the multiple choice, and it was something like 55 or something out of 75 on the hazard perception. But
Nice.
hazard perception is graded very weirdly.
How did you find the test?
You know, I was absolutely I was nerve wracked about the hazard perception.
Okay.
The multiple choice, no qualms whatsoever.
Okay.
But hazard perception, I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to get this right, and I did, thankfully, which is good.
Did
That was
they?
fun.
Was it different because it was in Newcastle to where you are now?
Yeah, every
Did
sign
they-
had the word away.
Away, you bastard!
Hey up, there's the brakes.
That's no. So you got your horse and cart, and you pull it up to the stop sign, bastard.
is.
And I'm a Geordie Sean Bean.
Oh God, he's back.
No, he's outside in a tree.
Yeah. Oh, okay. But yeah, me being from where I live, which is down in the south, seemed to be
Western Supermare. Why we've said it so many times on it.
Oh yeah. It seemed to be the talk of like the test center staff, because they were like, why are you up here? And then someone was like, oh, do you like Western? I've been to Western once or twice. It was all right. I was like, no, it's not great.
Why? No, how did they actually say it?
Uh,
Oh, mate, how's fucking Western Supermare?
It's like I'm back there. So one thing I didn't realize, obviously I knew that they were going to be as strict to try and catching like, you know, anti-cheating things or whatever for the test. They had me turn off my phone, put my keys and headphones and what have you in a locker that they provide for you. That's fine. They had me take off my glasses and they inspected my glasses.
Yeah.
They had me take off my shoes and they looked on the inside of my shoes. They had me
Did they have a little sniff?
They went.
That's horrible.
And they also had me turn my belt buckle inside out to look to avoid like stuff like that.
I think they just want to see your pee-pee.
Yeah, and they also told me to.
Yeah, mate, show us your willy so you've not got anything written on it.
I couldn't fit the answers on there if I wanted to.
It's multiple choice. You just have to put A, B, C, or D on it.
I don't think you realise how little I'm working with. And then after the test, so they gave me the results there, and then of course they tell you to, you know, don't open the envelope with your results in until you leave the building.
Right.
I guess it's so you don't distract the people taking the test.
It's a total surprise. You can pretend you're on one of them telly shows.
It's like Booper.
I've told so many people this week about that joke.
Oh, it's
must
good.
Must be Booper.
Must be Booper.
We'll save that for another time.
And then I walked over to Haymarket in Newcastle to get the bus back to where Payne's family is. And a guy was like, hey, do you have any change for the bus? I was like, I don't, I'm on card. And he goes, can you get my card? Can you get my fare? And I was like, no. And then I got on the bus and then I watched him get on the bus and pay with a card. So I think he just wanted me to pay for his bus fare.
I like it.
I mean, I respect the hustle.
Yeah, I like it.
And then all the way back on the bus, you know when people play music on the bus?
Yeah.
All the way back, this guy was playing music at the back of the bus, but it wasn't like hip hop or rap or anything. What's that England chant that goes da 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 da?
Vindaloo.
Vindaloo. He was playing that at the back of the bus the entire time.
How long's this journey?
It was about an hour, I would say.
And we all like Vindaloo. That one.
I don't know. That's the one.
England, we're gonna score one more than you.
Is that how it actually goes?
You. Na na na. Yeah.
You'd have thought I'd known by the
Is
hour
that the
long,
one? It's it is. It's the one that goes. Me, mum, me, nan, and me, gran, we're off to Waterloo.
That's the one,
Me,
yeah.
me, mum, me, nan, and me, gran, with a bucket of Vindaloo. Na, na, na.
Yeah, that's the one.
So shit. Like, what is that?
But that on loop for an hour at the back of the bus out of someone's phone speakers. I don't know why that one.
Did you have headphones?
I did, but it was that loud I could hear it.
That's okay. I think you should have joined in. I think you should have played it on your headphones.
Maybe to get the real experience.
Exactly.
Then we went to this multicultural festival in Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Yeah,
these are white, but these are white from a different part of Newcastle.
It had a tent set up for like Ukrainian charities. Sure.
Okay, cool.
Good cause. It had a singular Greek pitta stand.
Okay, cool.
It had a guy dressed as a puffin.
Very multicultural. Have I ever shown you my picture of a puffin?
And that's about it. You haven't shown me a picture of a puffin.
I have a picture of a puffin on the wall next to me at all times in this office. Yeah,
he looks over you.
Genuinely.
Yeah. It's
because Jenny and I keep going on holidays where there's meant to be puffins, but we always manage to time it when it's the puffin off season. And
they go out and wrestle alligators at the circus.
Exactly. But we've never managed to see a puffin, so we've got a bit of a running joke with puffins.
Oh. Plus they're cute.
They are very cool. This one's doing the little dance.
Oh, we love that. Then we went out to this place called Aden Castle.
Okay.
It was a castle. It was interesting. It's basically just a castle out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Right.
But it was a part of the English Heritage Society, and they're like, come and sign up, and you won't have to pay 50 quid to get into Stonehenge. It's like,
how
great.
old was it? Would you say it was fairly new castle?
It was old castle, I would say.
Okay, cool.
So, and that was interesting. And then we just basically flew home, where a guy spent the entire flight next to me Googling, where does the word raw dog come from?
And where does it come from, Tim?
I didn't look at his search results. I just saw him on that page a number of times.
I think you should have sat next to him with your phone zoomed in and say, how can I raw dog the passenger next to me?
My phone does have tablet mode, so he'd have definitely seen it.
It does, yeah. Very good. Oh, well, yeah. I'm glad you made friends along the way, Tim.
Yeah.
There you go. Good. Anything else about Newcastle?
No, that was about it. It's a pretty straightforward trip, to be honest.
Your multicultural festival reminded me there's a festival near where I am this weekend, and they advertise street food from all around the world, and it's like Mexican, Italian, Middle East, and Jenny was like, is that just anything with rice? Not a slight on Jenny, it's the way it was worded on the thing, but it was just like Middle East, like all of the Middle East is just one type of food.
It's amazing.
Right, Tim, who's the only person in Star Wars that wasn't a Jedi that used a lightsaber?
Oh yeah, let me get the pub quiz question back up.
Do you not know the answer? I thought you loved the series.
I do love the series.
Look at me, I love Star Wars.
Like musicals. So the only non-Jedi character to use a lightsaber in the original trilogy, it was Han Solo, but do you know when?
No.
It was to cut open. He used Luke's lightsaber to cut open the Tauntaun in The Empire Strikes Back.
Ah, very good. I thought he put it down his trousers and said to Princess Leia, "That lightsaber in my pocket, or you're just happy to see me."
And then it switched on.
And then they stitched it to a corpse, which was weird.
That's weird. Put them in a suntan bed.
That was very good, Tim. I enjoyed that. Anyone you want to shout out?
Yeah, let me get a Discord user to shout out. Do you want to find someone to shout out on?
I'm going to shout out the usuals. I'm going to shout out the impeccably lovely Dan from Casting Views, the sensationally beautiful, fantastic Josh Forget About It Scar, our Game Club Pod co-hosts, Sensational Slade and Arduous Alex.
Arduous,
yeah. He'll forgive me when he hears it. And also, I'd like to shout out Elon Musk, the Musketeer, for
don't.
being a prized dickhead.
Just a total knob.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to shout out Big Red 921 on Discord.
They're big, they're red, they're 921 inches tall.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Tim, anything you want to say to the listeners?
Take that, you bastards.
Happy 9/11. Take that, you bastards.
Bye.